Another edition of the Wake and J College Football Show. And I mean, we're at the end, guys. This is it. We have got the national championship tomorrow, and then college football is officially done. Now, obviously, I know there's still things that can happen with the transfer portal. We've got spring practices. Honestly, not that far away, which is crazy to say because, again, the season's not officially over. College football season never really ends, but this is the official end to the season. Um, I think this is going to be our last live, honestly, when it comes to Sunday mornings until we get closer to football season again. So, this is really it. I'm obviously going to still post my shorts. We've been doing the season recaps for every single Power Four conference. So I'm still going to be putting those out. I'm probably going to still put out a long form recap of each conference, but those aren't going to be live. I am going to recap the national championship, but again, that's not going to be live. So this is the last Sunday morning, 10:30, well, 11 a.m. Eastern recording. So soak it in. This is it. We're at the very end, and this is going to be it's going to be a short episode, honestly, because there's only one game to preview. So we're going to preview the national championship. It's not going to take that long to get through. Um, and then that's it. So yeah, very short episode today. And then again, moving forward, like I said, still going through the uh, season recaps for each team and that sort of thing. So um, yeah, that's what to expect with today's episode. So let's not waste any time. Let's have a good wake and bake sesh and get right into it. All right. Okay. Indiana and Miami, which, and it's still so weird for me that Indiana is in the national championship game. Just because, for those who don't know, Indiana I think it was before this season, was the had the most losses of all time. Now I think pretty sure it was Northwestern has now passed them for most losses, but and honestly kind of embarrassing for the Big Ten. I think it's three of the teams with the most losses of all time are all in the Big Ten. I think it's like Rutgers, Northwestern, and then Indiana. But yeah, Indiana historically a bad team, so the fact that they're in the national championship is just still so insane to me. And I mean, the way Indiana's been playing this year, they're a runaway train that just I don't know how you stop them. So basically, how I'm gonna preview this episode is I'm gonna give you a path for Miami to win. I'm gonna give you a path for Indiana to win. Then I'll give you my pick. We'll start with Miami. The path for Miami to win this game, for starters, don't let Indiana have the ball. That's really going to be the main thing. Do not let Indiana have the ball. Control the clock, which Miami's very good at, and honestly, that's kind of how they've won a few of their games, especially in the playoffs. It's what they did against Ohio State. Control the clock, and if they're able to control the clock, you keep the ball out of Fernando Mendoza's hands, and Indiana can't destroy you on offense. But that's much easier said than done because in order to control the clock, you don't want Carson Beck to throw the ball a ton. You'd much rather have a solid run game to lean on. You'd rather have Mark Fletcher have success on the ground, which it's not going to come easily for Miami, obviously. It never does, especially against this Indiana team. And here's the thing, I'm also going to say this about Miami. If if you're going to build a team to beat Indiana, you would want it built how Miami is built because we'll get into the defense here in a minute. But the way that Mario Cristobal builds his teams from the line out, That's how you're going to beat Indiana, is by controlling the line of scrimmage. So first and foremost, control the clock. By doing that, Mark Fletcher has to run the ball very well, but in order to do that, the offensive line has to do their job. They cannot get beat by this great Indiana defense. Um, and it, by running the ball, you make it so that a Carson Beck mistake is less likely to happen at that point. Now, defensively for Miami, shut down Indiana's run game. When Indiana has their most success on offense, it's when they're able to run the ball. Now, they're very good at running the ball, and I think the stats are like if they run for, I don't know, I'd have to look it up again, but I'm going to be putting out a short on this as well where I'll have all these stats put in the video. If Indiana runs the ball, I think for more than 150 yards, they're scoring like 40 points a game or something crazy like that. Whereas if they are running for less than 150 yards a game, they're in the 20s. So that's a huge factor in stopping Miami or stopping Indiana. Shut down their run game, because if you shut down the run game, the offense is not as explosive. They're going to score a lot less and actually give you a shot to win the game. Um, Again, much easier said than done because this Indiana offensive line is phenomenal. The running backs are great. It's much easier said than done. But if Miami wants to win this game, that's how they're going to have to do it. It's controlling the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. It's effectively running the ball and controlling the clock. It's effectively shutting down Indiana's run game and forcing Fernando Mendoza to beat you with his arm, which, here's the thing, even if you shut down the run game and you do force Fernando Mendoza to beat you with his arm, he's throwing to Elijah Surratt, Omar Cooper Jr., Charlie Becker. He's got good receivers to throw to. So the path to beating Indiana, yeah, if you shut down the run game, it gives you a better chance. Fernando Mendoza may still just carve you up with his arm. So there is that part of it. Now, if Indiana, if they're going to win this game, I mean, there's first of all, they're favored, rightfully should be. They're, like I said, runaway train. It's hard to stop them. Force Carson Beck to throw the ball because he's one of those quarterbacks where when he's on, he's on. And so if you force him to beat you with his arm, he might just do that. It's possible. But it increases your chances significantly that you're going to get one of those stinker of a games that Carson Beck is good for every year. We've already seen him have terrible games this year, and it's cost Miami. So far in the playoffs, he either hasn't had to do much, or if we look at, not, I guess technically last week against Ole Miss, he wasn't great the whole game, but that fourth quarter, that final drive, he was phenomenal. Carson Beck has that ability, but he also has the ability to be absolute garbage. Shut down Miami's run game, force Carson Beck to beat you with his arm because he may just give you the game. He may just throw four interceptions, and we see a repeat of Oregon and Indiana. Indiana has a bunch of short fields, and it's game over by the first quarter. Um, Defensively for Indiana, I mean offensively for Indiana, do what you've done. Honestly, just run the ball. Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Now, easier said than done because this is a Miami defense that is so good. They are so good. That defensive line is so scary. Indiana's offensive line, they're pretty damn good. Indiana's path to winning the game offense, run the ball, control the line of scrimmage, and that's so much. You hear that and you think, well, duh, dude, control the line of scrimmage, you're going to win every game. But it's more important in this game than ever just because of how good Miami's offensive and defensive lines are, that Indiana really needs to control the line of scrimmage if they want any shot at winning this game. Now, I have been, I don't want to say I'm an Indiana doubter, but I did pick against Indiana both times they played Oregon. I picked against Indiana in the Big Ten championship game, and that's proven to be a mistake. And so I feel like at this point, I can't really hop on the Indiana bandwagon, the Indiana train, because if I do that, Indiana's going to lose. Um, there is a path for Miami to win. It is there. I would say the path is significantly harder than it is for Indiana. Um, but it is there. I am going to pick Miami to stay consistent with not picking Indiana. Um, and this is kind of the cheap way out. I feel like either way I will come out a winner because if Miami wins, well, I picked Miami to win. But if they lose, well, I stayed consistent, and that's the reason Indiana won because if I had hopped on the Indiana bandwagon, they would have lost. So I do think Indiana's probably going to win, though, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. But I am just going to pick. I'm going to pick Miami. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with the upset. Um, I'm gonna stick with my original thing I said before the Oregon game, and I knew it was gonna bite me in the ass. I think in today's world of college football, with NIL, transfer portal, 12-team playoff, which is probably going to just get bigger, uh, an undefeated national champion, I feel like it's going to be a few years before we see one. And I said that before the Oregon game. I picked Oregon to win, and then Indiana just came out and absolutely dominated. And now they are in the national title game as an undefeated team, potentially going to go undefeated national title. And they're going to make me eat my words. So I'm just going to stick with that and say it's still going to be a few years before we see an undefeated national champion. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. It's very, very quick live today, a very quick show today because there's only one game to preview. Um, it's an exciting game. It's a good game. It should be a good game. I know last I checked, Indiana's a heavy favorite. I really do hope this is a good game. And I think Indiana is a team, I mean, Miami is a team that can make it close against Indiana. But yeah, thank y'all for joining me. I'll be back, I don't know, sometime this week to recap the national title game. Enjoy.